Greetings. Some games are pretty dog, but no game is as dog as Hundeparken. Hundeparken is a Scandinavian chat room game where you play as a dog. The game really just drops you in without telling you much of anything, which is usually a sign of poor design, but the game is so simple that it really doesn't need an introduction. If I were to be reductive, I'd say that the game is like a cuter Habbo Hotel with dogs. However, unlike Habbo Hotel, Hundeparken isn't a money extraction device, as, to my knowledge, there has never been a way to spend money. The only things that you can really do is wander around, interact with other dogs, and play minigames to get karma or currency in the form of bones to buy things like hats and abilities. Interactions with dogs include sniffing them to display their profile, pooping and peeing, riding them, and riding them. Oh. There are locations such as the graveyard where you can dig up bones, the Wisdom Mountain where you can spend karma to answer questions to increase your rank, and the adult room with gamba and objects. This version of the game is actually Hundeparken 3, with the first version of the game being from 2003. It started out as a purely Danish game, but Norway and Sweden got their own versions as well. The game was initially developed by TWA together with DR and was largely the same game as the current iteration, mostly having a different map, generally lower quality in some parts, and some now removed features. In 2008, a new version was announced, Hundeparken 2, and the transition between the games was incredibly cute. The dog world started getting natural disasters. Lava and flooding was all over the map. Moderators played the role of engineer dogs trying to combat the disasters, and a scientist dog was trying to get all the dogs to escape on a spaceship. They eventually got it into space, and the spaceship was a completely playable bone-shaped area, already actually running on Hundeparken 2. There was a common area, a Danish area, and a Norwegian area, though no Swedish one, as their version of the game had actually just shut down before. While the spaceship was now the main area of the game, an entirely new world was being made, which the dog ship would eventually land on. Instead of being relatively small squares of map, the new map had one large world separated into islands. Eventually, in 2012, the game was handed over to a group of volunteers and was no longer hosted on DR's website, instead now being found on hundeparken.dk, where you can still play it today. 8 years later, in 2020, the game was going to shut down with the death of Flash. But at the same time, Hundeparken 3 was announced without a release date, though later that same year there was already a beta and the park opened soon after. Disregarding heaps of updates, this is pretty much where the game is today. Despite the game still existing, the player base is now only a couple dozen people. This drop in popularity is to be expected, and while it is still very sad to see, it does uncover a little gem inside of its YouTube search results. A time capsule, entirely untouched from a lack of recent popularity. I'm clearly not nostalgic for this game, as I'm not Scandinavian, but I still got a fair bit of nostalgia from looking through all these videos. One of my favorite things about Hundeparken is that they managed to mix crude and innocent, and still make innocent come out on top. Like, yeah, haha, funny poop fart, but oh my god, doggy. This was a fairly short one, but the game was too cute not to make this video anyway. I hope you found it just as adorable as I did. Anyway, see ya.